There's a specific kind of talk that doesn't just reach her ears. It settles on her skin like a slow touch moving down her back. Most women are used to being called baby, honey, sweetheart, but when you use this phrase instead, it feels like more than just another pet name. It feels like a quick burst. It feels like warmth. It makes her body lean in before her mind even knows what's going on. And once you understand how to use it, she won't just hear your words, she'll feel your presence. You don't need fancy ways. You don't need magic charms. What you truly need is real meaning. Because when a man speaks with honesty, with the right moment, and with a calm, sure kind of power, he doesn't just get seen for a little while. He stays in her thoughts. He doesn't just reach her mind. He gets into her body, her heart, her feelings. He becomes sensed in a way that stays gently, that doesn't go away after a few minutes, but lives on in her memory. Let that truth rest in your spirit for a moment. Let it move with your breath. Somewhere along the path, you might have been told a lie. Someone probably said that if you want to keep a woman's focus, you must act a certain way. They told you to be smoother, be cooler, make more jokes, look better, pretend to be more certain of yourself than you feel, or hide the parts of yourself that seem too deep. You were given methods, small tricks, smart moves, words, and actions designed to look flawless. But here, you are still wondering why after doing all that, it doesn't truly work. Why is it that you can put in so much effort but still feel invisible to her? Think about this. You've seen women who talk a lot but leave no mark. They speak but no one is truly listening. Then there's another woman. She barely says a thing, but when she finally does, the whole energy in the room shifts. Heads turn, people move closer, and everyone feels her power. That's not some kind of magic spell. That's true skill. That's the strength of a woman who understands her voice and her inner drive. She doesn't guess. She doesn't hurry. She speaks from her core, from something much deeper inside, and that's exactly what we're going to find out today. Before we explore this further, take a short break for yourself. If you're listening or watching, press like, sign up, do whatever you need to do to show that you're prepared. Do it because you're finished with being ignored. Because if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right and she still doesn't truly notice you, then what we're about to explore might be the change you've been waiting for. Now, let me give you an image. Imagine standing by a calm lake early in the morning. The water's surface is flat like glass. You bend down, pick up a small stone, and drop it softly. Even that little stone creates waves that spread across the whole lake. That's exactly what strong words do. They don't need to be loud, forced, or showy. They only need to have a clear purpose. They carry weight. They are quiet, but they are heard, long after you have moved on. But what do most men do? They grab large rocks. They throw them. They yell across the water. They toss constant storms of words, hoping something sticks. It doesn't. Because the real answer isn't in how many words you speak out there. It's not about how loud you are. It's about the emotion, the strength, the deep feeling behind your words. Here's something most people don't realize. The deep mind, that inner place where real attraction comes from, doesn't listen to simple facts. It responds to feeling. It reacts to sound, timing, presence, power, and hidden meaning. Carl Jung once said, "Until you bring the unseen parts to light, it will guide your life and you will call it bad luck." That's not just about personal growth, it applies straight to connections too. Because a woman doesn't fall for you because you explained yourself perfectly. She falls when you awaken something in her. Something she can't easily describe. Something that makes her remember you when you're gone. Something that slips past logic and straight into memory. The issue isn't that you're not trying hard enough. It's that you've been trying with the wrong methods. You ask her, "How was your day?" and she says, "Fine." You ask next, "So, what kind of work do you do?" And she gives you a brief answer, then silence. Nothing stays. Why? Because your words didn't go deep enough. They didn't touch her spirit. And listen, this isn't your mistake. You were taught to act, not to connect deeply. You were trained to impress, not to truly affect. But that can change right now, when you learn to speak with influence, not just making noise, but speaking with emotional truth and good timing. Everything is different. When you know not only what to say, but also how to say it. When is the right time to say it and how to mean it completely? You stop blending into the background. You become noticeable. You get seen, not because you're loud, but because you're peaceful, present, steady. People feel you. She feels you. And in that moment, You become one she can't forget. You don't need 50 clever phrases to start talking. You don't need to speak all the time. What you need is just a few words spoken with full presence, with a voice that is calm but firm. You need quiet comfort, the kind of power that makes a woman stop thinking and silently wonder, who is this man? That's not just a skill for dating. That's a kind of art. It's not fooling someone. It's a natural draw. It's emotional smart shown through flow and presence. When you speak with clear purpose, instead of just filling the air with words, you stop needing to chase attention. You naturally bring it in. Let's keep going. The human mind doesn't really hold on to plain words. It remembers power. It remembers flow, sound, and the emotional heat of the moment. It's not the exact sentence that stays with her. It's the way she felt when you said it. Write this down somewhere you can see it. People may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. That's not just a nice thought. That's a basic truth. Especially with women. She won't remember the exact phrase you used, but if your words reached her somewhere unexpected, in a way that felt honest and real, she'll carry that memory with her long after. Let me give you another sight. Imagine walking into a dark room full of balloons. Every balloon has the same words written on it. Hello, how are you? Just checking in. The whole room feels heavy with things that are the same. Now imagine you don't bring another balloon. You bring a single small light. You light it instantly. That one flame attracts every eye. It changes the whole feeling. That's what your energy can do when it's true and has a reason, not rushed or copied. Here's the truth. Many of you avoid speaking from a deeper place because you're afraid. Afraid you won't be fully understood. Afraid you'll seem too much. Afraid she'll think you're too emotional, too serious, or too strong. So, you play it safe. You go on automatic mode. You send the usual messages. Safe, harmless, but also easy to forget, and safe never leaves a mark. Presence does. You should awaken something inside her. But you were taught to stay small, polite, and not cause too many waves. But here's the thing. Being polite doesn't start a strong feeling. Being polite doesn't stay in memory. Presence does. Emotion does. When your words carry pictures, when they create small tales, when they open doors into her mind, she doesn't just hear them, she lives through them. You stop being just words on her screen, or just another man talking. You become a feeling she wants again. Not because of the simple words, but because of the feeling in which you said them and because of who you were when you spoke. So from now on, make this your new standard. No more empty messages. No more simple talk just to fill quiet space. Every word you say, every message you send, every voice note you drop, let it come from something honest within you. Not the version you think she wants. Not the changed, perfect version of you. Just you. Stay focused because what comes next will open even more possibilities for you. We're going to explore even deeper into how you can make moments with words that don't just get her attention for a moment, but keep it long after you've gone. These are the words that settle in her chest and are heard in her mind. The kind that go past her logic and travel straight into her memory. This is where the real shift begins. Let's talk about one short line. Just 3 words. 3 words that can quietly change everything. You and me. Sounds small, right? Not dramatic, not exciting, but don't let the simplicity trick you. These 3 words aren't just something you throw out there. They're something you create in the air. They make a sight a spark, a small shared chance. You and me isn't a way to start talking. It's a clear image. It's a soft mirror. It's a passage. Say it with me. You and me. It sounds normal, but that's why it works. Sometimes the biggest emotional changes don't come from big speeches. They come from quiet lines that slip right into the body system without any fight. When you say you and me, you're not begging. You're not forcing. You're not asking for anything. You're simply planting a seed. You're offering a soft picture, a hint. And here's what most men don't know. The female mind, especially the deep part that causes attraction, doesn't respond best to long explanations. It responds to images, power, and emotional suggestions. Picture this. You're sitting with her. The mood is good. There's some laughing. Instead of saying, I enjoy talking to you, you lean in just a little, smile playfully, and say, you and me could have dangerously good conversations. Boom. You didn't praise her. You didn't try too hard. You didn't ask for anything. You created a possibility. You painted a little world that wasn't there before you spoke. You might even follow with, you and me. We'd win any argument, especially if we're on the same side. Feel that. That's not silly. That's not forcing it. That's not a sales talk. That's a moment. That's an invitation. It's an opening. Now, maybe a small voice in your head wonders, is that too strong? What if she doesn't react? What if she thinks I'm odd? Here's the real answer. You're not saying it to get a guaranteed yes. You're saying it to leave a feeling. And feelings last. They stay alive in her mind, even if she doesn't show you right away. Because this isn't about running after someone. It's about being sure of your presence. That's real confidence. That's pull. These are the kinds of moments that make a woman stop, not because she feels pushed, but because for the first time in a long time she feels a chance she didn't expect. So next time the feeling is right, don't hold back. Don't shrink down. Don't go back to safe silence. Drop the spark. Drop the clear image. Say it with quiet certainty. Say it easily, but say it with depth. You and me. It's not a trick. It's a window. It's a passage. And this is just the start. It's more than a phrase. It shows how you see yourself. Those 3 words don't work because they sound clever or because you've memorized them, like a script. They work because of the way you say them. When you say them with quiet belief, with no hurry and no desperation, they say something much deeper. The unsaid message is clear. I'm not waiting to be picked. I already am the right choice. Remember what Jung said. The deep mind is attracted to clarity, to symbols, to confidence. When you speak from that steady belief, you're no longer just a man with words. You become the sign. You become the one calm flame in a world full of people doubting, shrinking, second-guessing themselves. You become the guiding light in the dark. Let's go over it again. You've probably heard someone say something like, "Do you maybe want to spend time together sometime?" Listen to that. That's not confidence. That's someone lightly knocking on a door even though they already have the key. It's asking for approval instead of owning your space. Now change it. Try this instead. You and me should check out that place downtown. That's presence. That's not a question. That's a suggestion. That's showing the way. That's power. And if she connects with your feeling, she'll go with it naturally. Let me ask you something. Do you want to be remembered as the man who was careful with his truth, always worried, always safe? Or do you want to be the one who said one unforgettable thing that made her truly feel something real in her heart? Because here's the truth. Energy tells the tale. You can say all the correct words, but if you deliver them like you're hoping they'll work, they fail. But if you speak them with the knowledge that your presence is enough, that's when everything changes. That's when she tilts her head, looks at you in a different way, and thinks to herself, he's not like the others. It's not about being louder. It's about being deeper. It's not about being aggressive. It's about being centered. That's real masculine strength. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to beg. It just stands calm and steady. It speaks with quiet certainty that attracts people without effort. So, stop asking to be invited. Start being the invitation. Once you stop trying to show you're good enough and instead speak as someone who already knows his worth, that's when the whole energy shifts. That's when you stop being left behind, overlooked or forgotten. That's when you start being felt not just in the moment, but long after the moment has finished. And what we're going into next is timing. That sharp edge where so many men miss the goal. Not because they said the wrong words, but because they spoke them at the wrong moment. Timing matters completely. Timing is important. And when you learn how to deliver truth without causing pressure, you'll see how she listens in a new way. Stay with me because this next part is about being exact. It's about clear feelings. Understand this. Your energy enters the space before your words ever do. You can say the perfect line, but if you deliver it with a worried tone, rushed timing, or nervous body language, it will fail before it ever has a chance to settle. That's the truth most people avoid because it means you can't hide behind cleverness. It means it's not just what you say, it's how your whole self carries it. You could say you and me 100 times, but if your eyes look away, if your voice shakes, if your body pleads for approval, it won't work. Not because the words are wrong, but because the energy behind them is not right. Now picture 2 versions. One man says, "You and me would make a dangerous team," but he says it with arms folded tightly, eyes down, voice thin and weak, almost hoping she says yes. Another man says the exact same words with open body language, steady eye contact, calm voice, and a soft, slight smile that says, "I'm okay either way." With or without her reply, his energy is complete. Same phrase, but 2 totally different feelings. Two completely different impacts, and you already know which one stays in her memory. Quiet. Confidence attracts people because it's rare, it's powerful, it feels solid. Most people don't know how to simply be, they only know how to perform. But here's the thing. Energy doesn't lie. Your energy always shows whether you're standing in your strength or reaching from emptiness. And no matter how sharp you look, no matter how smooth your words are, the truth underneath gives itself away. Real strength doesn't come from speaking louder. It doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from presence. It comes from stillness. Look her in the eyes. Not like you're begging for something, but like you're simply meeting her there. Sit or stand in an easy way. Not like your body is asking for approval, but like it already knows its value. That stillness you feel when you're not rushing, when you're not quickly searching for the right thing to say, that's your hidden power. Let it surround your words. Let it give your words weight. When you say something meaningful, stop speaking. Hold the quiet. Let it breathe. That's when it settles deep inside her. That's when it lands in a way she can't forget. We should really stop calling it confidence. What it truly is when things line up because your words and your body need to say the same thing. When your inner world matches how you look outside, she doesn't just hear you, she feels you. That's the difference between a phrase that gets ignored and one that lingers in her heart. Now, let's talk timing. The part most men completely forget. When do you say it? Because timing is everything. Say it too early and it feels like pressure. Say it too late and the chance is gone. But say it at the right moment and you're not just speaking to her mind. You're waking up her attention. Here's the main point. Don't rush the moment. Don't throw your best line into a space that isn't ready to take it. A wise man doesn't speak for praise. He waits for the opportunity. And in the world of true connection, that window is everything. You could have the most powerful words, the calmest energy, the warmest presence. But if you drop you and me too soon, it won't feel like a spark. It will feel like a proposal. And nothing stops attraction faster than pressure. If you say it too early, she steps back. If you say it too many times, it loses its importance. The magic disappears. It's not just about the words. It's about when you say them. The right time is when the feeling is moving easily, the mood is light, laughter is in the air. She's leaning closer, she's open. That's when you drop it softly like it was always meant to be there. Not forced, not loud, just placed gently into the space like a candle flame. Picture this. She's talking about her favorite local food place. You smile and say, "You and me should check that out. Let's see if it's as good as everyone claims." That's it. No pressure, no weight, just a picture, painted in her mind. You didn't ask. You said it clearly, and then you let it go. You didn't hold on to it. You didn't wait too long wanting approval. You trusted the seed to grow by itself. That's attraction. Not a shout, not a chase, a quiet word that stays. Most men mess this up because they hold on too tightly. They try to force a reaction. But the man who knows his value drops the line and lets the quiet space carry it. He knows the power of letting go. He knows that sometimes she might think about it later when she's alone, maybe driving home, and suddenly it hits her. You and me would make a dangerous team. She smiles. She feels it. She doesn't even know why, but it stays with her. That's not tricking someone. That's meaning. That's a good fit. That's a wave moving through her inner world. And the beautiful part, if she truly feels it, you won't need to say it again. You won't need to chase anything. You'll already be heard inside her. A man like this doesn't just leave a feeling. He leaves a symbol, a small story that lives under her thinking mind. He doesn't try to be remembered. He becomes unforgettable simply by how he speaks, how he acts, and most importantly, by how he lets go. So, don't chase reactions. Don't sit there waiting to be judged. Don't watch her face for signs of approval. Speak like a man who already knows his words have power, especially when he lets them breathe. And now we step into something most people completely miss. Silence the moment after, because sometimes what you don't say is the strongest sound in the room. If you drop the phrase and immediately look at her face for a reaction, you've already lost the power. If you say "you and me" and then stare, waiting for a smile, waiting for her to approve, your energy betrays you. It says, "I need you to tell me I did it well." But you didn't say it to be judged. You said it because it felt true. The quiet after is not empty. It's full. It's where the weight of your words can settle. It's where the shake of your energy can be felt.